Today, we're diving into two documents that shape every property transaction, the agreement for sale and the sale deed. We'll break down what each one means, why they matter, and the key elements you must know before signing anything. By the end, you'll have clearer insight to protect your interests and make informed property decisions.
When you're buying property, the paperwork can be overwhelming. Two terms you'll hear constantly are agreement to sell and sale deed. While they might sound similar, they represent two completely different stages of a real estate transaction. Confusing them can lead to significant legal risks. In this video, we'll break down the legal definitions, the risks involved, and the exact process of how ownership moves from seller to buyer. Let's start with the basics of what makes these two documents distinct. An agreement to sell is a promise to perform an action, while a sale deed is the final document that transfers ownership. An agreement to sell is essentially a quote, executory contract. You do not own the property, you only have a contractual right to buy it. On the other hand, a sale deed is a quote, transfer deed. This is the final document that transfers the ownership and title from the seller to the buyer immediately upon registration. This is the moment you legally become the owner. Let's look at the legal implications across four key areas for deeper understanding. First, for ownership and title, in an agreement to sell, the title remains with the seller. In a sale deed, it passes to the buyer the moment the deed is registered. Second, concerning registration, for an agreement to sell, it's often optional. But for a sale deed, registration under the Registration Act of 1908 is mandatory to hold a legal claim to ownership. Third, the risk of loss stays with the seller until the sale deed is signed. Also, an agreement usually involves an advance payment, while the sale deed acknowledges the receipt of the full and final consideration. What happens if a party backs out? Let's look at the legal remedies and enforcement options. If a seller refuses to honor an agreement to sell, the buyer can sue for specific performance under the Indian Contract Act, asking the court to force the sale. Once a sale deed is registered, the buyer's rights are much stronger. You can enforce ownership, move for eviction of trespassers, or resell the property immediately. Let's put this into a real-world scenario, focusing on buying an under-construction property. First, you sign the agreement to sell and pay a booking amount. At this point, you have a binding promise, but the property title is still with the developer. Once construction is complete, you pay the remaining balance, and both parties sign and register the sale deed. This final step is what makes you the legal owner. To summarize these differences and provide you with some final tips, remember, the agreement to sell is the promise, and the sale deed is the fulfillment. Registration is the bridge that turns a contract into a secure title. Always ensure your sale deed is registered and the appropriate stamp duty is paid. Only a registered sale deed provides you with the peace of mind that the property is truly yours.
That's your quick insight into the agreement and sale deed. If this helped you, hit like, share it with your friends and society members, and subscribe for more expert guidance. For clarity, compliance, and confident decisions, visit housingcircles.com. Housing Circles, powering smarter cooperative societies.